What's up, guys? Dylan Russ for Cage Side Press, joined today by a lightweight mixed martial artist boasting a 6-1 amateur record, set to make his professional debut at PFL vs Bellator on February 24th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The godson of legendary rapper Flava Flav, Biaggio Ali Walsh. How you doing, Biaggio?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
Is that true? Are you really his godson?
Yeah,
How did that
we
happen?
uh we got really close with Flav. Right before I went to Bishop Gorman in high school, we moved to a different neighborhood, and the owner of the house that we were buying was like, "Yeah, like there's someone famous that lives here, Flavor Flav." And I like looked at my mom, and I was like, "Flavor Flav," like because I used to watch Flavor of Love growing up. He was our neighbor, and we just became family friends, and we became so close that we were at Applebee's one night, and my parents said that we want you to be Biagio Nico's godfather. So yeah,
That's,
it was at
that's,
Applebee's.
that's dope. And he comes to all your fights, man. I've seen him at like two of your fights. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
man, he's very supportive.
I forget who it was, but I would just remember random memory that he doesn't have an iPhone because he handed me his phone to take a photo of him with somebody else, and it was some random ass phone. I didn't even know how to take the photo. I was like, "What the-"
And like you press it, and it like takes 2 seconds to just
yes,
take the picture.
yes,
Yeah,
bro. Yeah. So you just came from wrestling. Did you get any go work in, or were you paired with that fat ass Brazilian Nicholas Mota?
I was paired with that fat ass Brazilian. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, great work. Wrestling's always, I think, the hardest day. Coach Dennis just freaking grinds it out with us. So yeah, great work today, and just kind of wrapping it up. I'm 2 weeks out now, so yeah, just the what's the freaking phrase people say, the haze in the barn.
The
So
nitty
yeah,
gritty. No, what's the haze in the barn? I don't know that one.
yeah, haze in the barn. So we're getting ready for the fight now.
Oh yeah. Uh yo, I've only noticed this today, and I might be wrong. Like I'm not even entirely sure. But in your fights, is Dennis the only guy in your corner?
Hmm.
And you can have what, like up to three people, but you choose to only have Dennis. Why is
Yeah,
that?
man. Well, yeah. My fight here in Vegas, I had Dennis and my striking coach, James Gifford.
Hmm.
But Gift's not able to come out to the Saudi fight, so yeah, just Dennis, man. Like most of my fights, it's usually just Dennis, and yeah, man, he's such a knowledgeable guy in the sport, and he's a great coach, and he just keeps me so calm. So yeah, it's really just Dennis.
If you're gonna have one guy, Dennis is a good one guy to have, man. And do
Hmm.
you always take his advice, or sometimes does he say something you're like, yo, this old motherfucker is crazy? Or is he just
No, I always take Dennis's advice. Whatever he says, like I try to do it. Even in sparring sometimes, like he'll say something and I do it right away. And even on Tuesday when we were sparring, he says something, he's like, you don't have to do it right away, but like keep it in mind. But yeah, anything that he says, I listen to, like, yes, sir.
but you can't listen the same way when Mads Vernell is screaming shit from the front row of your fights, telling you that you remember.
Yeah, and yeah. Well, no, I tune him out. I just listen to Dennis.
Yeah. All right. I want to start real quick. I want to go back a little chronological order. Where were you born and raised? Were you born and raised in Las Vegas?
No, I was born in Chicago, and for personal reasons, we had to move, and I moved to Vegas when I was around 6 years old, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I don't really tell people this, but I like you, so yeah, we kind of had a restaurant in Chicago, and something happened where like someone stole a lot of money from us. So, like we lost our cars, we lost our house, we lost everything really. And my dad had to put me, my brother, and my mom in a U-Haul and just drive from Chicago to Vegas and just basically restart his life. So, yeah, when we came out here to Vegas, we were in like a tiny apartment, and my dad worked extra hours and stuff. He didn't have a car. My mom would drive him, and yeah, just worked his way up to get a better life for me and my brother. And I'm super grateful that they're so hardworking and that I have the parents that I have. So yeah, that's long story short. That's pretty much what happened.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but thank you for sharing it. Your parents, they raised two good young men, man. So that's good.
Thank you.
Uh, uh, I was gonna ask you, I know your lineage, of course, we just mentioned it earlier, but was fighting always in the cards for you growing up, even at that age? Or were you like, did you have dreams of going to the NFL one day? Because I know you played football.
No, I never had any dreams of going to the NFL. It was weird. I always wanted to be an athlete.
Mhm.
I found out like in PE that I was really fast. And then that's when me and my brother did flag football. I tried tackle for the first time when I was in 7th grade and I hated it. I played D end and receiver and I couldn't freaking catch a ball. And uh, yeah, it was just weird. So after 7th grade football, I was like, I hate football, whatever. So we were going to move back to Chicago before high school. And I didn't want to leave my friends or anything like that. So we found Bishop Gorman, and we saw that they had a great football program, and it's a great school as well too, especially in Nevada. Nevada, the school system here sucks compared to a lot of the other states. So uh, we went to Bishop Gorman. We saw a game there, and it was kind of like college. Like, it was crazy,
Yeah.
just the atmosphere that they had at Fertitta Field. Man, it was nuts. So I thought, I'm gonna try football again, and then we went to Bishop Gorman, and my freshman year playing, it was very successful. Our team went
What
undefeated,
position,
and was that?
what position did you play?
Yeah, I played running back
Oh,
when I
shit.
first went to Gorman. Yeah, I always wanted to be a running back. I was very inspired by Walter Payton and Barry Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to be a running back. Just hand me the ball. I can't catch it. Just hand me it, and I'll just freaking go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a very successful run there. I had like 15 D1 scholarships, and I ended up going to Berkeley after high school.
Wow. How was Berkeley? You liked it out there? California, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the weather. I love the friends and teammates that I met there. It was just kind of weird because I committed to a coaching staff, and then that staff got fired before I even got there. So now you got a whole new staff that doesn't know me or care to know me, and they kind of want to use the guys that they recruit. That's the political side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't getting any opportunities. It was really weird. Like, it almost felt like I was being used just for my name. Like, the they would come to me and they would have me do media and talk about, just to bring attention to the college and the football team. And I was sitting on the sidelines, like I wanted to say in these interviews, like, yo, you guys know I'm not playing, right? Oh yeah, my grandfather is Muhammad Ali, but I'm not playing, like, so it just felt weird and unfair.
Yeah.
And yeah, I ended up saying, if I have to play football, because I always felt like I had to play, I would rather play back in Vegas. So I came back to Vegas, and I was promised X, Y, and Z, and I never got it. And yeah, it was just really weird. And then after football, I just went down like a little spiral of depression.
Wait,
That was a dark side right there.
did your brother play football too growing up with you?
He played we played flag together in like 4th and 5th grade, and he tried freshman football at Gorman, and like after a week he was like, this isn't my thing. And then that's when he got into boxing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I wanted to ask you this. Do you keep, this is a random question, like I said, do you keep track of your opponents? Not the last opponent, but the one before, Ed Davis. He's a guy that ever since you guys fought, I've spoken to him. He's a pretty cool guy. He was one you fought in the play, it was the playoff card at the Hula
Atlanta?
Yeah. But wait, what did you say?
Was that the one in Atlanta?
No, New York. Second round finish.
Second round finish.
Red hair.
That was Ed. Right?
Yeah, Ed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ed Davis. Yeah, he's off to a great start, man. Professionally, that win is
man, he looks great.
2-0, 2 first round finishes.
Absolutely. I remember telling him after the fight, I'm like, yo, like, we got the experience that we're getting is priceless. Like, you're only gonna do great from here on out. So, and that's, look at him now.
And he was like, of course, upset he lost that fight against you. Anybody would be, but like, he was happy, bro. Like, he was in such good spirits. Like, I was sitting with him watching the rest of the card, and he was just like so grateful for the opportunity, so grateful to share the cage with you. So
Absolutely.
it's been cool to follow.
Yeah, we shared a slice of pizza after the fight as well.
Really? Hell yeah. I love hearing stuff like that. That's awesome. Are you still bouncing, man?
Bouncing? No.
No?
I actually I left working security at right after I fought Ed in New York. And yeah, I thought, it was just kind of weird being in camp and having to, like, because I would work on Tuesday nights. I would spar, or I would hit pads that morning and then come back and spar, and then I got to work a 7-hour shift and come home at like 4:35ish, and it was just kind of messing up with my sleep a little bit. So it's nice, and I'm grateful that I can put all my time and energy into fighting.
So you went down that spiral down that path of depression, right? Like we all do at certain points in our life. But how did you make it to Extreme Couture, one of the best gyms in the world?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I was in like just a weird place. One of my friends at the time was training there, and he was going to get his first amateur fight. And he was just telling me all these things about Extreme Couture. Like, yeah, I got good rounds here at Extreme Couture. And he told me to come one day. And I came and I did one of the kickboxing classes, and I liked it. I really just loved the people there, and just the coaches and everything. So I liked it, and I just kept coming back and back and back. And around that same time, I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, as most athletes would feel, when they're playing a sport and then it's over. It's kind of like, what do I do now?
Yep.
So I was working at Adidas. I was looking to do real estate. I just trying to figure it out. I was also trying to work as a assistant strength coach at this facility here in Vegas, and I was working with like college athletes, high school kids, little kids, and just helping them out. And while I was there, the fighters that I would train in strength conditioning, Kai Kamaka, Jeremy Kennedy, Pooney.
No way, really?
Yeah, those were the guys, and I knew them from the gym and from GIF. So I remember just watching them, and I'm like, I'm like 21, 22 years old. Why am I coaching you? Like, I miss being an athlete. I miss being where you are, working hard and determined to accomplish something. So it was kind of that moment, I think, where I was like, I'm going to take MMA serious and just see how far I can go.
You knew you could do it. Let me ask you this, though. You lost your first fight ever. And then you rattled off not only 6 consecutive victories, but 6 consecutive finishes, all within the first 2 rounds. Was there ever a moment of doubt that maybe you wouldn't continue fighting after that first fight? Or did you always know you're staying the course?
There was no doubt in my mind. After that fight, two weeks later, I wanted to get in the cage again. I was like, okay, I got to get back to it. I got to get back. I got to get back. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there was no doubt in my mind. It's weird. Like at the time, my girlfriend told me, she's like, I didn't think you would fight again after that first loss. And I'm like, you must not know me, because I'm trying to keep this train going, So like once I step in, I'm not trying to get out, So yeah, no doubt in my mind.
Awesome. So you've been in the spotlight for quite some time now, and fans out there, and especially journalists, you know how the media is. They've asked you the same question at so many events. When are you going pro? But are you happy? I know you're about to go pro, but are you happy with the pace of your career so far and like the opportunities that you've received from the PFL?
Absolutely. Words can't really convey just how grateful I am that the PFL just even sees potential in me. I first heard of them when they came to us. I was 0-1 as an amateur. Yeah. And then I heard that the PFL was thinking about signing me, and I'm thinking like, what the hell? Like, so that tells me that they see potential, and they also see that, with my relationship with my grandfather, I could also help bring eyes to the company. Wow. And because being related to Muhammad Ali doesn't matter if you're freaking 0-4, right? So they saw potential in me, and I'm just super grateful and blessed that they see potential in me. And yeah, the pace, everything is going perfectly planned. Yeah, I'm super happy with the way everything's going right now.
Oh yeah. And also I've noticed that you are always the crowd favorite. Like I've been to, like I said, I think 3 of your fights, you always have the crowd at your back. They're always rooting for you. Do you notice that when you're in the cage?
Not at all. I actually did not know that. That's really cool to hear. I did not know
that. So you're just zoned in, right? You're not paying attention to the crowd at all.
Yeah, it's an illusion. The lights, the production, the crowd. I don't even care about that. When I step in the cage, the first thing that comes in my head, because I'm nervous before, as any fighter, really. And yeah, as soon as I step into the cage, I'm thinking in my head, oh, I've been here before.
Definitely. I know you're fully focused on fighting. That's what you do. It's not like the business side of the promotion and whatnot, but how do you feel about the merger, man, the acquisition of Bellator?
Oh man, I think it's a huge step in MMA history, man. Like, yeah, it's dope. I mean, even the card in Saudi, like PFL champ versus Bellator champs, like that's an awesome card. Like, it's stacked. you really see two big MMA companies come together and do a card like that or an event like that. So yeah, it's super awesome.
Is it cool to be on a card with so many great fighters? Like, is that something that like you kind of look forward to, just being on a card with all these so many eyes on this card, especially champions versus champions?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I get to say, yeah, I fought on the same card as Yoel Romero. like, like that's
Yeah, bro.
just it's super cool, man. Like just to be surrounded by such greatness, man, you kind of feed off of that kind of energy, you know. And even just training at Extreme Couture, there's so many high 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 level and talented guys there. I always pick their brains.
You better say what's up to Yoel, bro. I bet he's so chill.
Yeah,
I bet he's a dope dude.
let's go.
So as you mentioned, you're set to travel to Saudi, and when are you leaving? Like a week from now or 2 weeks from now?
We leave the 18th, so not this Sunday, but the next Sunday.
So do you feel like that's a cool part of the fight game, that it takes you all around the world? You're traveling to Saudi Arabia, the Middle East.
Absolutely, man. Like I love that. I love traveling and going to see these new places, and to be able to do that as my job. I mean, it's not like I'm on vacation. I'm there for work.
Yeah.
But say I stay an extra day, and then I can, kind of go around and see. When I was in DC, we went all over the place. We went to a museum. Yeah, it's super cool just to have this kind of job, and I can't see myself doing anything else, really.
Right. I couldn't
Yeah.
pick going from fighting to something else. I mean, that'd be a cool.
I personally, I couldn't, like, the only, like, I got into it because, when I was trying to figure stuff out, I was working at Adidas. I was trying to, what do I do with my life? What's my purpose? I noticed that the only thing that excited me was going to the gym and training. Like, that was the only thing that I looked forward to. And that says something, so yeah, I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
I feel the same way, man. I'm out here all day today, fucking putting up tape on rails on staircases and putting up signs shit. I'm just like, I don't want to be doing this shit, man. This is the type of stuff that excites me, that I look forward to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. And Dennis gets to go to Saudi Arabia, man. I bet it's gonna be cool for him. So Emmanuel Palacio, 1-0. What do you know about this guy? What makes him a favorable stylistic matchup for yourself?
I don't know too much about him. I know that he's got a kickboxing background. I know he's 1-0. He's high guard, kind of walks forward. I know he's a little shorter than me. I know I'm gonna beat him. Like, I think that's all I really need to know, right?
Would you say
but yeah, I think it's a great matchup. What was that?
Would you say that most of your game plan, like going into fights, is like focusing on you, like being your best self in the cage, as opposed to worrying about what's coming in your direction? Of course, it's a mix of both, but more so focus on you.
Absolutely. And I have to keep telling myself that as well. And who also tells me that is Maz. Like, every time he's like in Denmark or something, he gets a phone call from me. He's like, "Oh, this motherfucker's nervous." Because I call him up. I'm like, like, what do you think that this? And he just says the same thing you just said. Focus on you. Don't even look at the stuff he's doing. Just do you.
That's so funny. I say the same shit to Mota, bro. Mota be coming to me, Mads and Mota have a group chat, right? We've talked in it 24/7 every day for the last, I don't know, year and a half now, ever since the one card that you fought on the PFL championships like 2 years ago. But Mota's always just like, I don't want to, like, I'm not gonna air out his laundry, but like,
yes,
he's talking about his fights, and he's just like maybe I should wrestle, maybe I should. Like, I know if he comes.
Dude, it's so funny you say that. I was talking to Mota today, and I was saying the same thing. I'm like, yeah, maybe I wrestle this dude. Like, maybe I show off, just my wrestling. And Mocha's like, yeah, I say the same thing, and then I knock him out. I'm like, all right, hey, whatever works, right?
No, the funniest part is when Mota is fighting these he's 5'9" or whatever, 5, and he's fighting these 6'3", 6'4" guys in 2 of his last couple of fights, and he's saying to me and Mads, he's like, I think I'm going for a head kick early on, like first minute I'm gonna throw a head, and Mads like, bro, don't fucking do that. He's like, do not throw.
Bro, just you can't, like, we all have these conceptions of what we want to do, but in the fight, just be you. Like, that's the main thing, and I constantly have to keep telling myself that.
As long as you believe you could beat anyone on any given night, man, it's like, who cares who's in the cage with you, man? It's you.
Yeah.
So you've experienced a lot these last few years, especially within the PFL, but also just, in training and fighting. What's the biggest lesson since you came over to fighting? What's the biggest lesson you've either learned about yourself or learned about the sport in these last few years?
Um, the biggest lesson. Oh, the biggest lesson is just how important it is to be calm.
Mhm.
Like that, I think, and I also learned that lesson after my first fight when I was if you're holding your breath doing anything, you're gonna get tired, right? Especially in a fight, right? So I think the biggest lesson that I ever learned was just how important it is to be calm and composed. Because when you're calm and composed, especially in a fight, you could think better. It's everything's more clear. You could focus on. You can read. Like I say, I faint, and he does something. You can read stuff. Everything starts to just fall into place if you're just calm. So I think that would be the biggest lesson that I've learned so far since I've been fighting, and that's the top of the list of importance is just being calm.
Good lesson learned, man. That's awesome. I got a speed round for you. You don't have to go too fast, but just 10 random ass questions that I came up with that I want to ask you. Is that cool?
Okay.
Number one, a mixed martial artist you look to emulate in your own game.
Pure to young.
Hell yeah. That's a cool one. Favorite sport outside of fighting?
Ooh.
Damn.
Uh,
I,
Probably football.
I thought it was gonna be football.
Yeah.
Favorite submission to practice?
Japanese necktie.
Hell yeah. Are you a Raiders fan or not?
Not really. I'm a Bears fan.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just give us time before you roast me. All
I'm a
right.
I'm a Jaguars fan, bro. So you're not gonna tell me. Uh, Favorite food? Lamb.
Burritos. Mexican food.
Okay, good.
Mexican food is my favorite.
Worst teammate.
Worst teammate? Hmm. I feel like everybody at Extreme is pretty cool.
No,
um,
no worst teammate.
I wouldn't say I have a worst teammate. What do you mean by worse?
Like stupid, like Mota, like Mads.
Yeah. Worst teammate.
Always trying to get you to go across the street to Popeyes, Mota.
Worst teammate. I I don't think I have one. If I'm gonna be completely honest.
That's good. That's a good answer, bro.
Yeah.
Favorite boxer of all time.
Ooh. Besides my grandfather, of course, right?
Yeah.
Um, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. One place you'd like to fight or travel to that you haven't yet.
Um, Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never been to Africa?
We actually were just in Africa. My brother had a boxing fight out there.
Oh yeah.
Um,
What was that, South Africa? Where was that?
no, that was in Guinea, so like West Africa.
Oh shit. Okay. How
But
was it?
it was awesome, great experience. I would love to. I didn't fight, but I would love to fight in Africa.
Oh yeah. Who's winning more fights on February 24th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia? PFL or Bellator?
Mm, PFL.
Okay. Who's best with the ladies? Mota, Mads, you, or Dennis?
Probably Dennis, dude. I don't know what it is, bro.
I
He
knew
gets
you were gonna
like
say that, bro. I knew that.
Dennis gets like I don't know. He's got like some kind of like bitch magnet.
He's
Like,
he's a funny guy. He's a
excuse my
compliment.
language too. He's a lady magnet, is what I would say. I don't
Definitely
know how.
chick magnet. But
Chick magnet.
I've heard though. All right, this is the most random out of all of them. Not just teammates, but it could be all teammates, could be coach, it could be anybody. Four people that currently live in the city of Las Vegas in a street fight, in a bar fight. It's five guys versus you and four people. Who are the four people you want by your side in a brawl?
Um, ooh, I would choose Blake Monty.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you met Blake before, but yeah, Blake.
I love Blake.
Maz. If you said four, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Francis.
Hell yeah.
And who else? I'm thinking of another heavyweight. Oh, Ray Sefo.
Fuck yeah. I like that one. That's why I said coach, include coaches, because you definitely said that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, last two questions actually. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy man. What do you want? I finish every interview with this question. I just got one more after. when it's all said and done, fighting, training, all these different things you might do, what do you want people to remember most about Biaggio Ali Walsh above all else?
I want people to say that I was a good person and a good teacher. At the end of my career, hey, sorry. At the end of my career, I want to be a mentor. A lot like Dennis. Dennis has had so many fights, and he helps and cares about the fighters so much, and not just fighters but people. By the end of my career, I want to help those that were kind of like me. Athletes who kind of got the short end of the straw and they kind of don't know what to do with their life. They feel like they have no purpose. Kids who grow up in abusive households, single family households, who again don't really know what road to go down. I want to be a mentor like that. You'll hear me say it now, and 20 fights later, I'm not fighting for a belt. I'm not fighting for money. I'm fighting so that someday I could be a great teacher, kind of like Yoda or Mr. Miyagi to somebody. That is the reason why I fight, because I always go back to my faith as well. I'm not gonna die and stand in front of God like, hey, look, like I'm a PFL champion. Come on, dude. What you take with you is your good deeds and how you treated people, and how you help people. What you could do to just help humanity. So that is the main reason why I fight, is so that someday I could, if I get a lot of money, I could use that money to be charitable and open up a gym for kids or something. Like that's the reason why I fight.
You just touched on this, how you say you might want to coach later on or open up a gym. But let me ask you this. This is off the script. You're a very articulate guy. You seem like a very intelligent guy. Would you ever see yourself late? Of course, you're so early in your career, but down the line, when your fighting days are over, maybe staying close to the sport in another way, maybe in a commentary role, or like maybe something like journalism, something like that.
Absolutely.
On the
Yeah. I
broadcast.
think commentating would be awesome, man. I think, by the end of my career, I'll have a lot of knowledge to be able to commentate and be accurate with what I'm saying. Right. So, yeah, man, like any way that I could like help fighters, help student athletes, you don't even have to play. It doesn't matter what sport it is. If I could just help in any way I can, like that's what I want to do, really. Like that's what's most important to me.
That's what's most important to me, man. I'm not even just trying to agree with you. I'm telling you the truth. Like I feel like, especially, I mean, it's weird because of what I do is like MMA journalism, which is like not the most direct path to helping people, but like I don't do this, like I'm not trying to make this about me, but I feel like everybody should feel exactly how you feel about life. Like I feel like the key to life, no matter what you do, is to help others and to try to be a positive influence on everybody that you come across. And it's
Absolutely.
easier to be like that than to be like these motherfuckers in the comment sections and on social media, just like negative and like trying to tear people down. I don't understand it,
Yeah.
man. And there's
Or
more.
caring so much about money and
Yes.
the belt. Like I feel like, I don't know, man. I like to look at what's truly most important. I don't know if you've seen that video of Mike Tyson when he had like freaking 8 boxing belts, and he's like, "This means nothing."
Yeah.
What does that say? That's Mike Tyson saying
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I like to just try to look at what's most important, and the fighting journey is a learning journey. I don't expect sunshines and rainbows. I expect hard, bad days. I've had bad days of sparring. I expect to that I expect adversity. That's normal. So yeah, I think that's what's most important, is just seeing what's truly important. And to me, what's really important is, like you said, helping others.
I think you're fighting for all the right reasons, man. And I think that alone could take you very far in this sport. I got one last question to you. You just shared a beautiful message about helping others and all these different things, but I want a different type of message. Last one. What can a message to the fans, the people that have stuck by you every step of the way throughout this fighting journey? What can fans expect to see from Biaggio Ali Walsh in the year 2024?
Dominance. To the fans that that like me. Yeah, expect just, you guys are on this roller coaster ride with me. So just expect me to improvement, and just to get better and better and better. Just expect to see the improvement and to see me just climb my way up to the top.
You clearly have a very strong work ethic, man. You're definitely going to give it your all. So I'm looking forward to seeing you fight in a few weeks, man. Thank you for taking the time tonight. Biaggio Ali Walsh fighting on the PFL versus Bellator card February 24th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good
Yes,
luck,
sir.
man. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Be good, brother.
Yes, sir. You too.